Hi, my name is Nellie Fisher. My project was engineering a wearable device to help Parkinson's patients maintain an upright seated position. For my study, I designed a vest that I had my participants wear as they fell over in a chair, which allowed me to find a threshold for the average speed as one falls over in their chair. This threshold can then be used to code a program to be able to determine when a person is actually falling over within that threshold, and then trigger a response of inflating a bag to be able to push that person back to an upright seated position. I've been in science research for 3 years, and each year not only has my study grown, but I've also grown as a person. I feel that I've become much more confident in my researching skills, writing skills, and also more confident in presenting and speaking to others. This year has been especially meaningful to me since I joined up with my younger sister and we competed as a team in many of the competitions. We've been able to accomplish so much together in an area of research that means so much to us because our grandma actually struggled with Parkinson's disease, and we saw how for her actually sitting up in a chair was one of the biggest hindrances in her life, and we wanted to be able to design something that would help her gain her individuality back and also help not only her, but the rest of the Parkinson's community.
Hi, my name is Stephen Wu, and my topic is about musical complexity and concentration. My research this year had me analyzing the complexity of music using a rating system and then seeing how music of different complexities affects people's performance on a concentration test. All this stems from my core interest, which is music. During my first year of science research, I wanted to see how music affects human cognition, which in turn led me to look at the mathematical properties of music. Through this journey of exploration, I learned that science research really allows you to learn about anything that's interesting and explore your own passions. Adding on, science research is much more flexible than any other class in high school that has a set curriculum and encourages students to pursue their own interests. My experience in science research has been a very exciting one, as I was able to learn more about the very music that I perform, but on a much higher level. Additionally, science research also allowed me to work alongside my fellow students and with some very great mentors. We would cheer each other on at science fairs and also motivate each other during the science research classes that we shared. In terms of mentors, I remember sitting down with my music teacher from high school and spending a couple of hours just listening to Mozart concertos and then analyzing the very same songs using math. Overall, science research has been very fun and very exciting, and I'll never forget it.
Hi, my name is Josephine Robb, and my project was the AVP subpopulations involved in infant-directed aggression, which is a little morbid. But I came upon this project on an internship over last summer entering senior year, at the Albert Einstein Institute of Medicine under Dr. Anita Autry. I worked closely with a graduate student on this project, and I think it just speaks to what science research, what you can do when you're really committed to science research, and the opportunities that you can encounter. I know I wasn't the only student who had an internship opportunity, but I think it was a really transformative process because I got to see how the inside of a lab worked. It was basically just kind of like a job. It was kind of amazing because their job was basically what I was interested in or passionate about. So I thought it was a life-altering opportunity that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't in science research. So I think first and foremost, having that opportunity to explore and discover my passions, as well also to challenge myself because it requires a lot of dedication. So not only do you have to be dedicated on that part and gathering the research, but you also have to be the challenge also comes in presenting that research and properly, which I think also ties in the really interesting aspect of science research for those of you who are thinking of entering it. It's seniors, juniors, and sophomores all in one class. So this allows sophomores to see what the older students are doing, but also allows or forces the older students to really think about how they're going to present this information in a way that makes sense. And I think that's really allowed my brain to become more flexible when explaining my topic. So that's what science research means to me.
Hello, my name is Felipe, and I am a senior from the graduating class of 2020. And I did science research from 10th to 12th grade. My research topic was surrounding epigenetics, where I used C. elegans, which is a nematode, to study how inheritance can be passed down using stress instead of genetic alterations. It was a really interesting project. Anyway, I think the science research is a really important class for most people to take, actually, because it does help with a lot of things. So when I first went into science research, I was excited to learn what exactly that I want to do, because I had no idea back then what kind of science I wanted to study in the future. I just knew that I wanted to research, and I figured out that I liked genetics and epigenetics, which was a lot of fun. Just like this journey and the process that you go through is a lot of transformation, reflecting about yourself. Another thing that I think is really important is that because you do present a lot in the class, you do eventually learn to be accustomed to it. Like, I would be having nervous breakdowns before I went to this class, and now talking in front of people is not so scary anymore. So I think it's a really useful skill. Anyway, for any incoming graduating class or incoming classes, I would suggest a couple of things. First one, go with anything that you like. Don't be afraid to think outside the box or just explore to see what you like. And always allow Ms. Blunt and Mr. Ganell to know what you're thinking about. Don't be afraid, they don't bite. They're a lot of fun and they'll always be supportive. Enjoy.
Yeah, so I joined the science research program my sophomore year of high school, as do most people, and I feel really lucky to have been able to be a part of the program for the past 3 years of high school. Like most people, my research started out really broad, being just about cataracts, and as I found my mentor and talked to her and talked with Ms. Blunt and my peers and everyone, I was able to take my research in the direction that I chose, which was in the direction of learning about gender discrepancies within cataract surgery and access to cataract surgery, which is something that I'm really passionate about, and I really enjoyed being able to learn about it and research it and do research with professionals. And I think that's something that's really valuable about this program, is that you can take your research in any direction you want, as long as it's something that you can actually put together a study about. And you have the opportunity to communicate with professional mentors, well, professionals that are your mentors, and the teachers and peers. And I also think one of the probably most valuable things that I got from this program was just being able to present all of my research several times a year to groups and to individuals, and answering their questions afterward, as I think that is a really important skill, and a skill that has, for me, translated into most of my other classes and a lot of other areas of life. So I think taking science research was just a really great choice, even just for kind of honing in on and improving that skill, which is an important life skill. And I also have really enjoyed being able to watch other people's presentations and just learning about so many different and obscure topics, because just one classroom has such a wide variety of topics as everyone pursues their own interests within STEM. And so I've been exposed to a lot of new information, and I think that seeing that and being able to support other people in their research and also have the support of all the peers and teachers and everyone has been a really great experience, and I'm really glad that I joined science research.
Hi, my name is Noah Vass. I'm a senior who started my science research experience my sophomore year. I didn't really get much done my sophomore year. There's quite a long adaptation process to get used to the whole science research experience, because it's quite different to anything else we do at school. But by my junior year, after doing some research into memory, I came across just an interesting observation in my daily life that I tended to really enjoy high-intensity exercise. It made me really happy, while people like my parents don't and need low-intensity exercise, like a walk or something like that, to make them happy. And this difference in emotional reactions to exercise was kind of the basis of my research, because I was interested in how we could increase the amount of time people dedicate to exercise, because rates are quite low in the US. It's something like less than 1 in every 5 Americans exercise daily, and that it's a staggeringly low number that I kind of wanted to address and try and fix with my research. But I think more so than what I learned just about, this stuff in my field, I think what was a lot more important for me was developing my actual research skills, learning how to read scientific papers, and slug through stuff that seems like it might not be helping me, but that you just kind of have to get through it, get used to it, immerse yourself in the field, and it's tough at first. But I think it was very rewarding for me as well to get through that and start to understand what was going on at a deeper level, especially in terms of my field. It also helped me with my public speaking skills. You have to present and get up and talk about your research, often on the spot in science research, and as a result, I've really developed my critical thinking and my speaking abilities.
Hi, my name is Nasia Mehmeteus, and I researched predicting the relationship between marriage and the discussion of women's issues in congressional representatives. And for me, I think science research was a really important class because it helped me learn how to do research and pursue something that I'm really interested in on my own motivation rather than something that's being mandated by a teacher. And it also helped me learn how to take many different approaches to an issue and have to constantly keep reassessing how things are being looked at or conceived. And I also think that on a more general scale, science research taught me really how to be super persistent in something that I'm working on. And it also taught me how to reach out to experts and professors in an area without being sort of intimidated by this in order to help myself in the long run and to help my research and to be better at communicating with people and presenting in general. I think that science research has really helped me to become a much better speaker than I previously was. But I think that more than anything else, science research has really offered me an opportunity in high school to mature and to explore what I might be interested in pursuing in my college experience. And I've made a lot of friends through science research as well that I probably wouldn't have become as close with otherwise, but we form a pretty tight-knit community, so that was also a really nice aspect of science research. I think that it was definitely my favorite class in high school, and I'm really glad I took it.
Hi, my name is Charlie Sheffield, and I've been doing science research for the last 2 years, so ever since my junior year. And my research project has always been about something called optical trapping. Now, optical trapping is taking a carbon-based particle, trapping it inside of a laser, and then moving the particle around in the laser. Now, the reason why we do this is because when the particle is trapped in the laser, it is emitting light, and if we move it fast enough, it can look like it creates images and light. And I thought that was very interesting, and something I was interested in looking into. Now, what I realized so fast is that this is such a advanced field that I didn't have the technology at my hands in Harrison High School to work on this project and advance it to the level that many other scientists are working on. So instead I worked on some of the cheaper alternatives and trying to make those more fundamental and more accessible to a wide variety of people. So what I did is I tried to test the validity of some of the cheaper alternatives. So I used a very low power laser for my trapping, and I used some instruments that would be very accessible for people, so that these could be more widespread and not just in some university somewhere. Now, science research has meant a lot to me. I've learned a lot in science research. I've learned how to present my ideas in a fundamental manner. I've learned to organize a research plan and really go from taking a question I had to finding a result and finding a conclusion, which is extremely useful, something I didn't think that I'd ever see in a high school class. I thought that was something that we'd only really learn in college, but giving us the freedom to explore our own research was something that's very useful for me, and I think I learned a lot from science research. Now, even though I'm not myself pursuing a science career, I think that science research was still a very useful class for me because I was able to learn how to communicate my ideas better. I was able to learn how to organize myself and follow through with a plan, which was something that was going to be super useful for me in the future, even if I'm not using science. So that's a lot about my experience in science research, and I think it's been a great opportunity for me in Harrison High School.
Hi, my name is Julia, and I originally joined science research because I was interested in learning research skills, and I wanted to improve my ability to talk with adults, and I wanted to improve my public speaking skills. And I feel like science research has really helped me do all of those things, because when I started the program as a sophomore, I was really shy and was very nervous talking in front of just my classmates. And through science research, I've gotten much more comfortable talking in front of classmates, even presenting to professionals at science competitions and judges. And even though science research is an inherently independent program, I really enjoyed science research because I was able to focus on my own project and individually do my work, but I always felt supported by my environment with my teachers, Mr. Gunnell and Miss Blunt, and with my classmates. And I feel like I developed really close friendships with people in science research, and those friendships definitely helped me to improve my project, and they gave me feedback for presentations before important fairs. So I just want to thank the science research program and teachers for being so helpful and for guiding me during this process.
Hi everyone, my name is Josh Cooper, and in my science research career, I researched the impact of the shock absorption properties of basketball shoe cushioning systems on the likelihood of lower extremity overuse injuries. So I really love shoes, and specifically basketball shoes, and I love the style of them, but I also really love the specific features and characteristics that each shoe has. So I'll even watch videos of the different basketball shoes just to find out what characteristics they have, what features they have, such as the traction or the cushion or the materials. So for me, science research was an amazing opportunity to go really deep in one of my interests and really deep in something that I'm really passionate about. So for me, it was basketball shoes. And I think that's really what makes science research so special, is all the Harrison High School students that are in the program can really go deep in one of their true interests. And that's an opportunity that the other high school students and many students don't really get to do in high school. And for me, another really cool thing was that I met with a few professionals in the field. So I met with a doctor from the Hospital for Special Surgery in New York City. I also met with a professor at Duke University. Over the phone and actually in person, I was able to tour motion laboratories in at both HHS and Duke. So those were really cool opportunities for me. So throughout my career, the science research career, not only have I learned so much about my topic, but I've also learned so much about research in general and the whole research process, and also just how to interact with professionals, as I talked about before, just learning how to interact with them, what to say and stuff like that, and also public speaking, as we have to present a lot in class. So I've really learned so much from science research, and I want to give a special shout out to Miss Blunt and Mr. Gunnell for being amazing teachers, and also always supporting us and really doing whatever we need, and really doing a lot to help us be successful.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and my project was on increasing the desiccation tolerance of Aerogrostis teff through exogenous application of abscisic acid to ensure food security. So I originally chose to do science research because I love science and I wanted a more practical, hands-on experience with it that was kind of personal to me. And I'm really, really happy that I did, because it not only taught me so many professional skills that I'll be able to use in the future, such as being able to research properly, reaching out to a potential mentor, or even practical skills like how to create and carry out an experiment. But I've also been able to meet so many great people and go to competitions and share my work and talk to other people about their projects and what they like doing. I've had so many great experiences and I've had so many great opportunities through science research, and I'm so thankful for that. And I've also been able to find my passion and what I really love doing. Had I not done science research, I wouldn't have been able to find that. So overall, it was such a positive experience, and it's kind of changed my high school experience and changed my life, because now I know what I want to do. And I just also want to thank Ms. Blunt and Mr. Gunnell for everything that they've done for us, because they do support us a lot and they help us every step of the way. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Julian Glover, and I did a research project on the physics of pole vaulting and how to reach an ideal bend in a pole to go as high as possible. And science research meant a lot to me this year because it helped me actually as an athlete. It helped me with my pole selection, it helped me compete in the event, and it was a great experience to use what I knew from physics and from my math classes and apply it into athletics and what I do in my life. and I had a lot of fun, especially at HHS. And I actually had done science research back in 10th grade on a different project. I was talking about hydrogen solar, which I also had a personal connection to. So science research really just allowed me to connect what was important in my life with outside of school, with what I do learn in school with physics, chemistry, and even biology. And so I just want to say thank you very much to my teachers, to Mr. Gunnell, to Ms. Blunt, for everything you guys have done, for all the help through the 10th grade this year. And I had a great experience. We had a lot of fun in my class with Cam and Victoria and Charlie and Julian and Matt. So I just want to say thank you and emphasize how much the class meant to me.
Hi, I'm Haley Amon, and I researched the use of self-report measures to predict non-suicidal self-injury. I've had a very positive experience in science research for the past 3 years. I started my research looking at impulsive actions and behaviors, which led me to narrow my research into suicide prevention because suicide attempts have been found to be a very impulsive action. I actually got to go to a hospital at Brown University to conduct my first experiment after my first year of science research, and from that I was able to work with researchers that were in the psychology field that were working to prevent suicide in the patients that they had, and I was able to collect and analyze data from an ongoing experiment that was going on at the hospital. I was able to present this research at multiple science competitions and also conduct my own experiment using the data that I had previously collected to add on to it and make a further conclusion that would be able to hopefully prevent future self-injurious behaviors for depressed patients and also advance the current set of knowledge that researchers have on preventing suicide. My time during science research was very beneficial to me because I was able to be very independent with my research and come to conclusions that I would not have the opportunity to do in other classes. And I think this class allowed me to strengthen my ability to do research.
My name is Victoria Landino, and over my 3 years in science research, I've looked at the relationship between gender, anxiety, and performance level in different types of competition. So in 10th grade, I kind of did the ground research, and this topic really interested me because I played competitive sports my whole life, and I know I experienced a lot of anxiety when doing so I wanted to see if that was common between the genders and if it impacted any other factors in competition. And in 11th grade, I looked at how this relationship existed specifically in athletic competition, and then 12th grade this year in academic competition. And I was able to compare the two, which was really cool. And I definitely valued my science research experience. I think that the skills that I learned transcend just school. Obviously, it was really helpful in school. I was able to learn research skills that apply to other classes, and also how to ask questions and keep digging deeper, because that is something that's part of the researching process and something that's emphasized in class. But also just as a person, it definitely benefited me. I was able to learn kind of interpersonal skills, asking for help either to Ms. Blunt or Mr. Gunnell, or explaining my project to people at science fairs, or to teachers who I had to ask for help from in the school, like Mr. Kale and Mr. C. And I think that that's definitely something that is going to stick with me as I move on from high school and through college and after college. Those skills are just going to stay with me. And I want to thank Mr. Gunnell and Ms. Blunt for helping me these past 3 years and helping me develop a project that I really care about and an experience that I'm really grateful for.
So, my name is Mason Rigger.
Pablo Roland, and our project this year was
the effective body fat percentage on the knee landing angle, and the impacts on the rates of ACL injuries.
So this year we decided to do a group project, and this was different from my years past, as I used to do solo projects. And science research to me, it's basically whatever you want this class to be. Personally, I switch topics every year, and it just allowed me to explore a different array of science topics that interested me at the time. And science research definitely helped with my public speaking, as well as my ability to research topics that meant something to me.
For me, science research, the biggest thing was that it allowed me to do research on something I was really interested in, rather than having to go through like a specific coursework. It allowed me to go off and have like some sort of like freedom on my own. And also, it helped me with speaking in front of large groups, because sophomore year, I was barely able to get up in front of the class to present, and from senior year, I could kind of present pretty easily, and it really allowed me to have a lot of practice, and it helped me improve my public speaking a lot. And also with working with Mason this year, it taught me a lot on like how to work together with someone and like collaborate ideas on a project, and it really had a big impact on my academic life throughout high school.
Hi, my name is Cam Hackett, and I've been in science research for 3 years. All 3 years I've had Mr. Gunnell. He's been an amazing teacher. I couldn't have asked for a better experience. I've learned so much along the way, and I met so many new people through science research. I really don't know what else could have been a more interesting elective to take throughout high school. My project this year was on how air pressure affects the thrust output of a propeller. Last year I designed a UAV for medical purposes. The year before I did a study on biomimicry in aircraft technology. Science research has kind of allowed me to take my passions and kind of combine them all into one solid thing and really study as much about it as I want to, and it gives me the freedom to study what I want about these topics. And I just want to say thank you to Mr. Gunnell and Ms. Blunt for making it all possible, and thank you to Mr. Gunnell for dealing with me and Julian for 2 years.